guys, it's Rachel here, and today I'm going to be filming my late, as I always freaking do, wrap up for the month of July. So July, I had a really great reading month. I read the most books that I've read so far in a month. It's only taken me friggin' 7 months to do so, but you know, I had the best reading month so far this year, and I'm really super proud of myself. So this month I read 10 books. One of them is a graphic novel, but you know what, who cares? I'm gonna include it. And a lot of this is thanks to the booktubeathon, which I participated in this year. I was lucky enough to have 3 days off during the booktubeathon, and so I got some good amount of reading done, so I'm really super proud of myself. So today I'm just going to be sharing with you guys the 10 books, or 9 books and 1 graphic novel that I read, this month. I have rearranged my top bookshelf. It's getting to where I can't fit. The books that I put on my top shelf are the most recent reads, so right now it's a little bit cluttered, so I kind of had to rearrange it. So I'm not going to be holding up the books that I read. I'm just going to start a picture right here. The first book that I read this month was going to be More Than This by Patrick Ness, and I read this book with Stephanie from @ Walker, and I loved it. What I love so much about More Than This is that I don't know what happened, and I think that's the general consensus when you read this book. You just don't know what happened. So the most that I can tell you about this book without giving anything away is that the book starts off with a boy who drowns. He drowns and he wakes up in a purgatory, a limbo of sorts, and he thinks he's in hell. Could be heaven, who knows, but he wakes up in a purgatory of sorts, and he quickly realizes that the place that he has woken up is not a place with good memories, and then the story kind of takes off from there. This book really affected me in a whole lot of different ways. Patrick Ness is an excellent storyteller. It's completely understandable why Patrick Ness is like everybody's favorite author. His writing style is perfection. Like this book, perfection. Like highly recommend this book if you want something that's gonna leave you like, what did I just read? Because I'm not even sure what this genre is. Like at first I'm thinking contemporary. Are we sci-fi? Magical realism? What are we? I don't know. I'm not even fully sure what this genre is, but I went into this book knowing very little other than the fact that it starts out with a boy who drowns and wakes up in his own hell, and I think that's the most that I can say about this book without giving too much away. If any of you guys have read it and you guys want to talk about it, please talk to me. But other than that, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read this month is going to be Night Film by Marisha Pessl. Now, I have been seeing this book all over the place. It always gets recommended to me on Amazon, so I thought I would go ahead and pick this up. I found it at a half price books for like $12, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and I read it this month, and it was awesome. So I am venturing more into the adult fiction category. This is more adult thriller, mystery-ish story, if that makes sense. It was really good, and I think that one of the things that made this book so great was the fact that there is an interactive app that you can get on your phone that certain pages in the book, you scan it with your phone and it unlocks extra material. Now, granted, there is not a whole lot of extra material, but this book was excellent. If you guys are interested in this book, it is pretty much about it's about a disgraced journalist who has been following the story of a guy named Stanley Cordova. And Stanley Cordova is a highly acclaimed film director, and his films are extremely graphic and not for the faint of heart. So a lot of people take to heaven and watch his films in underground areas, night film. Cordova lives a very sheltered, very quiet, very private life, to the point where it's like, is he real, is he not real kind of thing. And his daughter ends up dying. She ends up on a supposed suicide, and so the journalist Scott is trying to figure out, well, what really happened. I want to know more about Cordova. This book was really good. If you want something like suspenseful, I highly suggest it. It was really good, and I gave this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. The next book that I read this month is going to be my graphic novel, and the graphic novel was Sandman graphic novel volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes by Neil Gaiman. This was really, really good too. This is kind of a darker horror graphic novel, and I really, really enjoyed it. I ended up giving this, I think, a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to read graphic novels because it's hard for me. I read it all in one sitting and it's hard for me to grasp time in graphic novels, but it was really good. This is this first graphic novel is essentially kind of telling the story of the Sandman. He is captured and he is held hostage and he breaks free, and then for the rest of the graphic novel he is trying to find 3 items to kind of regain back his power. It is really good, and I highly recommend it if you want a pretty graphic novel. This is probably not for a younger audience, but I really, really enjoyed it. The next 3 books are going to be from a trilogy, and that is the Summer Trilogy by Johnny Han, which consists of Summer I Turned Pretty, It's Not Summer Without You, and We'll Always Have Summer. These were okay. I think as a whole I gave the trilogy about a 4 stars. This trilogy is pretty much about a story about a girl named Belly and her family, and every year for vacation for the summer they go to Cousins Beach to visit their mom's friend and their mom's friend's sons, Jeremiah and Conrad. And for as long as Belly remembers, she has always been in love with Conrad. And then this summer though is the summer that she turns pretty and she starts to finally get noticed. The story was okay. I've had a lot of problems with it. I'm finding that I'm having a lot of problems with Jenny Han's stories in general. Her characters are really frustrating to me, but this was a quick read. I read each one of these books one day at a time, so it took me 3 days to read the entire trilogy, so that was really nice. It deals with deeper topics. I was surprised by the fact that it goes through kind of deeper topics, and I did get teared up. I did get choked up in We'll Always Have Summer. Whatever. So as a whole, I gave this about a 4 stars, and I recommend it if you would like a contemporary novel. The 6th book that I read this month is going to be The Giver by Lois Lowry. I have never read this before, so I thought I'd go ahead and give it a go in lieu of the trailer coming out. So I watched the trailer and then I read the book, which I know you're not supposed to do, but hey, you know, whatever. This follows the story of a boy named Jonas, and Jonas lives in a dystopian world where at the age of 12 you are pretty much all gathered together and you are given what you are going to be for the rest of your life, and Jonas is chosen as the receiver and he has to figure out what that means. I would say that the book was excellent. I gave the book, I think, 4.5 out of 5 stars. The book brings up a lot of interesting topics. What I think was so interesting about it is that a lot of this was like inner turmoil within Jonas, like Jonas trying to understand why things are the way they are, or Jonas wanting people to understand what he is now finally starting to realize, and then it all kind of leads up to the end where Jonas makes a big decision. I would say that the book was excellent. I am not 100% sure how I feel about the trailer. This book is not really suspenseful. There's really not any action. There's really not romance in it. I'm still unsure how I'm going to feel about if I want to see the movie or not, but I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. The 7th book that I read this month is going to be Cruel Beauty by Rosamund Hodge. I think I gave this book a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was okay. This suffers from beautiful cover, what the heck story. This is pretty much a story about a girl named Nyx, I believe. If I'm correct, her name is Nyx, and Nyx from the day she was born has been promised to the Gentle Lord, and pretty much this was a pact that was made between the Gentle Lord and Nyx's father. Nyx's father made a wager with the Gentle Lord saying, if you give my wife children, then I will let you marry one of my children. And the Gentle Lord says okay, but the price is that Nyx's mother dies during birth. So Nyx's entire life, she's grown up very bitter, very hateful of her family, because now she has to marry the Gentle Lord. And so all her life she is trained to do and taught that what she is to do is to honor her family and to destroy the Gentle Lord. This story is loosely based off of Beauty and the Beast. However, I think this story tried to be a little bit too much, if that makes sense. I admire that Rosamund Hodge included Greek mythology. She was teaching you mythology, but I think that severely clouded the other aspects of the story. I understand why she did it, but I think that it left me a lot of times more confused than anything, and so because of that I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The 8th book that I read this month is going to be The Opposite of Loneliness, and that is going to be by Marina Keegan. And Marina Keegan, if you don't know who she is, she was a Yale graduate who, after I believe a couple of days after her graduation from Yale, she was killed in a car accident, and her family decided to publish some of her short stories and essays. This was excellent. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. It is always so tragic when somebody with so much promise, so much potential, someone who could have done so much good passes. And I don't even want to say that she didn't even do good, because this book is beautiful. The stories are beautiful. She had a very lovely writing style, and I think that she could have done some amazing things. And she did in her lifetime, you know, in the very short amount of time that she was alive, do great things. Something that always hurts me when I read books like this is whenever you're seeing when they start writing about the future and things they want to do before they die, and then unfortunately their lives are cut short. I highly, highly recommend this book. It is non-fiction, but it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. Her stories are fantastic, and I highly, highly recommend that. And then finally, the last book that I read this month is going to be We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. Now, this book has been getting some crazy buzz on booktubes, and so I thought I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. I think I got it for like $12, and I was like, well, I mean, whatever. So I went ahead and picked it up. Oh my god. So I can't tell you what the book is about. I can tell you that I did not see the ending coming. Now, I know that there are some people that are like, oh yeah, no, that I totally thought that. But I can tell you that I thought it was one way, and it ended up being the complete opposite of what I thought. It was excellent. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars because I'm just like, how did you do that? Her writing, E. Lockhart's writing is beautiful, whimsical, just amazing. Oh my god. I will admit there are some frustrating parts in this book, particularly surrounding the big moment, but the book is excellent, and I just read it, because I already know I have to reread it to go back through and see if I can catch what I missed the first time, because holy balls. Good stuff. So yeah, those are the 10 books that I read this month. I know it's a lot for me. It's a lot for a lot of people, but I'm super proud of myself, and I'm looking forward to August, having a really good month in August. I am currently reading The Kiss of Deception, and I'm really enjoying it. But other than that, if you guys want to link me down below your wrap-ups, that would be awesome. I will go ahead and go and watch them. But other than that, thanks guys so much for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye!